Percy Jackson hits the screens again, this time as a streaming show on Disney+, and the fans of the character could not have been more excited. The show premiered a double episode and did a terrific job of sticking to the original source material, thus having the fans take a breath of satisfactory relief. One fantastic way of doing this is by bringing the mythical creatures of the Greek-infused world to life, which the show delivers with flying colors. The Greek mythological creatures featured in the first 2 episodes pull the audience into the iconic world of gods with ease, while the actors deliver performances that instantly make you meet your favorite characters. We at Marvelous Videos have taken it upon ourselves to carefully examine all the monsters and creatures featured on the show so you can stay informed about everything in the Percy Jackson world and just enjoy the action. Here is every creature and monster in Percy Jackson and the Olympians episode 1 and 2. Let's jump right into it. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. The Pegasus. Trouble started for little Percy when he started seeing creatures that didn't exist for anybody else back when he was 7 years old. We catch up with him when he's lured onto the roof of his school building, trying to get a better look at a mysterious creature on the roof of the opposite building. A black-winged horse, a Pegasus. Perhaps one of the most recognizable creatures from Greek mythology, Pegasus and his brother Chrysaor were seen to be born when Medusa was beheaded by Perseus and a few drops of blood from her neck fell onto the sea. Being the son of Poseidon and Medusa, Pegasus was sired by Poseidon in his role as a horse god. He also flew to Olympus and brought thunderbolts to Zeus. However, Pegasus was a singular being in Greek mythology. But in the world of Percy Jackson, the creature is its own race. The Pegasus we see on the show has a very small screen time, but we can definitely expect it to come back in the future. A rhino automaton. At a young age, Percy spots another mythical creature in the real world, this time as he gazes out of the window of his classroom, an automaton. The automatons in Greek mythology were animated metal statues of animals, men, and monsters created by the god Hephaestus or the hero Daedalus. In the Percy Jackson world, automatons are used by gods and other creators to perform set tasks and play a vital role in the subsequent stories of this world. Percy sees an automaton in the form of a mechanical golden rhino just as it casually walks down a busy New York street. The mist, the magic that separates the mythological and the human worlds quickly takes effect, making Percy think he's looking at a garbage truck. The Fury Electo. We only catch a glimpse of the Pegasus and the Rhino automaton in the opening montage of Percy Jackson and the Olympians as Percy looks at them from a distance. The first creature that Percy really encounters is one of the Furies, the chthonic goddesses of vengeance in ancient Greek religion and mythology. In this world, the Furies are the 3 chief servants of Hades and serve as the enforcers of the underworld, the realm for the eternal damnation of bad souls ruled by Hades. In the first episode, Percy encounters a Fury called Electo, who was disguised as Percy's pre-algebra teacher, Mrs. Dance. Until that point, Percy stands up to his bully, Nancy, on the school trip when she mysteriously gets shoved into the fountain, even though Percy doesn't even touch her. Confused about what just happened, he turns his head to see Mrs. Dodd's leather jacket slowly transform into feathery wings, and she grows the bird-like features of a Fury. He slowly walks towards Percy as she transforms, which seems like only he can see, then leaps onto him, asking a singular question, where is it? It is at that point Percy stabs her with a golden sword that came out of a pen given to him by Mr. Brother in the previous scene and turns the Fury into dust. Although this encounter of Percy with the Fury was short, the Furies remain a constant threat throughout Percy Jackson's 5 books, so the same case can be expected for the Disney Plus show. The Minotaur. Percy's mother Sally takes him to a cabin in Montauk to tell him that he's a demigod when they're interrupted by Grover, who warns them that something is chasing Percy. They get into a car and start driving off, and shortly after, Percy's truth about his half-blooded nature is revealed to him. A Minotaur shows up and starts attacking their car. The Minotaur is one of the most infamous monsters in Greek mythology, and with the head of a bull and the body of a man said to have been born of a human, Pasiphae, and a white bull. The Minotaur in the show had a bull head with curling horns and a studded snout, and the body was distinctively human with white underpants. Percy immediately recalls seeing the Minotaur with the underpants in the mythology card game he and Grover played. The Minotaur becomes the second monster defeated by Percy after he chases their car down and turns Sally Jackson into dust. which enrages Percy into using his sword to chop the Minotaur's horn off and use the appendage to kill the monster. Even though defeated by Percy, the Minotaur continues to play a role in the book series, and it will likely be the same for the Disney adaptation. The Wood Ni Dryad. In a scene that follows Percy's arrival at Camp Half-Blood, we see Grover go out to the forest and meet with a wood nymph, also known as a dryad. In Greek mythology, nymphs are minor nature deities that represent a specific aspect of nature, and dryads are nature spirits who live in trees and take the form of a beautiful young woman. Often, dryads are depicted as the life force of a specific tree and are said to live only as long as the trees they inhabit. The life force of the trees inhabited sacred groves of the gods like the Cloven Council of Elders that Grover convenes within the forest. The dryad that Grover speaks to in the second episode of the show is named Helena, a character and moment that is not from the books. She appears to be a dryad whom Grover knows and talks to her before meeting with the Cloven Council, a group of elders that are introduced in the fourth book of the series, The Battle of the Labyrinth. The scene with Helena does seem to plant a few seeds in the story that might play a vital part in Grover's character arc. Chiron the Centaur. Mr. Brunner is Percy's Latin teacher at Yancey Academy, and he hands a pen to Percy Jackson on a school trip, which turns into a sword that Percy then uses to kill Alecto the Fury. We catch up with Mr. Brunner after Percy wakes up in Camp Half-Blood when he appears in his majestic centaur form called Chiron. Centaurs are again well-known creatures of Greek mythology with a torso and head of a man with a body of a horse, said to be descendants of Centaurus, the child of Ixion and Nephil. Though they were depicted as wild as natural horses in Greek mythology, one centaur was depicted as much calmer, stoic, and helpful than his brethren Chiron. Drawing inspiration from a Greek figure with the same name, Chiron serves as the camp activities director and trainer of heroes in the show, just as the Chiron for Greek myth trained ancient heroes like Achilles and Jason. Percy Jackson's Chiron also trains the demigods at Camp Half-Blood by supporting them and helping mold them into heroes. Capable of traversing the dangerous world of Greek gods and monsters alone, Chiron has cemented its place in the story and will definitely play a major role in the episodes to come. Satyr. Like centaurs and minotaurs, satyrs are also Greek mythological creatures that represent a human-animal hybrid. Like the Pegasus, satyrs are some of the more benevolent creatures in Percy Jackson's mythology. They are creatures with the upper body of a human and the lower body of a goat, complete with hairy goat legs and hooves, along with goat horns and pointed goat ears. Satyrs, alongside nymphs, are nature spirits that were born when Uranus was murdered by his son Kronos and his blood spilled on the soil. In Greek mythology, they were minor to the forest-like gods who never died, but rather transformed into plants in their weaker state. In Percy Jackson, satyrs worked for Camp Half-Blood to go out into the world, searching for demigods and escorting them to Camp Half-Blood once spotted. Percy meets Grover in school and they become best friends, having many things in common like bullies. When Grover reveals the truth about himself, we learn that he is in fact Percy's protector, and his objective is to get Percy safely to the camp. Satyrs were often depicted in Greek mythologies with rarely any grace and were a detriment to ancient Greek society. The world of Percy Jackson, however, takes a departure from this depiction, for one with much more importance given to the creatures, other than their role as protectors and some other ulterior motives that are revealed later in the story. Satyrs are extremely vital to the survival of Half-Bloods, shown by the example of none other than Grover, who is one of the three main characters of the series. Marvelous verdict. If the trend of events so far is to be observed, Percy Jackson and the Olympians showcases the creatures of the source material in a glorious fashion, using them carefully to develop the world around the characters and also move the story along. If we were to believe that the plethora of mythical creatures and monsters from Greek mythology featured in the world of Percy Jackson would all come to aid its Disney Plus adaptation in the same fantastical manner, count us excited for the ride to come. Make sure to catch the episodes of Percy Jackson and the Olympians every Wednesday on Disney Plus, and stay tuned to Marvelous Videos for more mythical magic from the world of the Greek god. If you liked this video, remember to hit that like button and share this video with everyone you know. I'll see you in the next one.